And I am live. What is up, everybody? And welcome back to yet another breakdown review for episode 3 of Loki. Episode 3 just dropped today on Wednesday. Thank you guys so much. If you are watching, please hit that like button and consider clicking that subscribe button if you happen to be new to this channel, because I break down and review Loki every single week on this channel. I've already broke down the first 2 episodes. And today we're talking about episode 3. So don't worry about putting spoilers in the comments or in the chat, because I put it in the title. You should know that going in. And hello there, Sean PVS. Thank you for tuning in, my man. We're going to break down scene for scene what happened in this episode. Overall, guys, I really enjoyed this episode. Out of all 3 of the episodes that have been released so far, this one's my least favorite, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it. It was a really solid episode. We got, answers to questions we've been asking for, and we got a reveal that the character Lady Loki we got introduced to in episode 1 and 2 is actually a character from the comics. That would be Sylvie, the Enchantress. So let's start off with the first scene of this episode, which is between Sylvie and Agent C20. It opens up right here. They're having some margaritas, and Sylvie's just trying to get information out of this girl. This was the girl that got manipulated in the previous episode. She loves margaritas, and they talk about brain freezes, and she uses this manipulation on her to get an answer to this question that she's wondering herself. How many people are guarding the timekeepers? Sylvie asks her that question, and then it starts to come to realization that at the end of the previous episode that we were trying to figure out how Sylvie, or Lady Loki, was able to manipulate these people to do what she pleases, and she's basically controlling her. And it was a really cool opening scene to the episode, and then it cuts right to the opening logo. I just really love the opening to this episode. It's very weird, very crazy, and this episode introduced a lot of crazy elements too, and a good dynamic between Sylvie and Loki in the episode. So then we cut to this next scene of Sylvie breaking into the TVA. She's fighting off some guards, trying to get what she wants, and I think it's a really cool fight scene. You see her abilities, she's kicking ass, and then Loki, of course, is following her, and then Loki's saying, hey, why don't we work together? I think we could be a good pair because we're trying to find different things together. And they have their button of heads back and forth, Loki and Sylvie. And again, Sylvie just wants to get inside the TVA, know their dark secrets. And Loki as well discovers some things about the TVA in this episode. So it's funny how they're fighting back and forth with each other. And then we see Ravonna come in, try to stop Sylvie, but then they open the portal, and then they end up in this different world. And she basically says to him, where have you brought us? And then you see this explosion, and then you see this title card pop up, Lamentis 1, in the year 2077. This crazy hell of a world that's full of explosives that Loki has mistakenly brought them to this really devastating big planet. And then they're trying to find this MacGuffin in this episode, which we'll talk about in a bit. But this introduced the dynamic between Loki and Sylvie, that they have their button of heads. They're trying to complete this little small mission together. So and that's the title of this episode, Lamentis, but we figure out it's Lamentis 1 in the year 2077. So basically the plot line to this episode is that they're trying to charge up this TemPAD that is hidden inside of Loki. That's what Sylvie wants. Sylvie wants the TemPAD, get them out of this planet, and Loki discover it's not fully charged. So they go through this desolate planet trying to find, sources to charge up the TemPAD overall. And yes, Sean, thank you for your support as always, my man. So yeah, this TemPAD is hidden within inside Loki. It needs a very powerful source to get it going. And so we come across a little dialogue exchange with this random woman in the episode that Loki and Sylvie come across. They have a conversation with this woman, and Loki uses his powers to pretend like it's her husband, and she ain't falling for that. She was like, my husband has not been nice like that to me in 30 years. What do you want, prisoners or savages? And they try to get a location where they could charge up this TemPAD, and they get the information they need, that they need to go to the evacuation vessel. And in order to get there, you need to take a train. And she's like, you're not going to get tickets. And so this starts this little road trip adventure between Loki and Sylvie. So this woman was able to give them some information on what they need to get to, which is a train to evacuation vessel. And so they have to come up with this plan. Well, Loki thinks it's a plan, and she's like, looks like a dumb plan to me. Loki disguises himself as a train employee there, trying to take her hostage, and they get inside the train. Well, Sylvie uses the manipulation on someone, grabs a hold of them. They're able to get in the train, and they're sitting in the train and having a conversation back and forth, Loki and Sylvie. And of course, Sylvie talks to Loki saying that wasn't even a plan. That was just an idea. Plans have multiple steps. And that's a little quote she says in this episode. And so they start talking about their mothers. Loki brings up his mother, Frigga. Well, not his mother's adopted mother. And she asks, what was she like? And Loki says she was very honest. She was very charming and was able to teach him things like something with a frog. And Loki asks her about her mother, and that she doesn't even remember her mother. And so this cool little dialogue back and forth between these two characters of Loki and Sylvie, just having that nice conversation. Hey, what is up, my man? Leo, Geekly Goods. Wasn't too into this episode, but I'm hoping things pick up next. I agree with you, Leo. This is definitely my least favorite of the 3 episodes. It's a solid episode. It kind of felt filler. The first 2 are so jam-packed, and this one was kind of a laid-back episode, but I did like the dynamics back and forth with Loki and Sylvie. And Joseph Lansdell, what's up, my man? Good to see you in here. Let me know your thoughts on this episode overall. So I did like that little conversation. They were talking about plans have multiple steps, and they mentioned their moms. So Loki has a couple of champagnes, and Loki is back in his TVA uniform, and so this obviously gets them to get discovered. And Sylvie's kind of mad, like, why did you change back into your TVA outfit? And Loki was just like, all right, we basically got to get what we need and get out of here. And then, of course, they get discovered, and they fight off, of course, the employees on the train. They get kicked out of the window, Loki does. And so, yeah, during this whole exchange, Sylvie is pretty much done with Loki's BS, and she's like, give me the TemPAD right now. And Loki takes the TemPAD out of him, and it's broken. And she's pissed. Like, she lets out this scream, ah! And so, yeah, Loki pretty much destroyed the TemPAD overall, and she's pretty pissed about that. And then Loki sits down and is like, did that scream make you feel better? And she said, yeah, you destroyed the TemPAD, so now we can't go back. This planet's going to get destroyed overall. And yeah, they're just sitting down and having a conversation. And yeah, things look pretty bad all around. But then they bring up this little idea. And then so they go on the next adventure. And then Loki and them are talking back and forth. Like, you've learned a lot about me, but I don't know much of anything about you. How are you able to get control of people? How were you able to take advantage? Enchantment is pretty much what it's broken down to. How was she able to control all these people? And then she says she needs physical contact to grab a hold of people's minds. Now, it's not as easy as it looks. If it's a simple mind, it's pretty easy. If it's a really smart mind, then it's pretty difficult. And then she says, she brings up the C20 agent and that her mind was just all over the place. And it spanned hundreds of years before she even started working there. And then Loki asks her, wait, what? From what I was told, that the TVA was created by the timekeepers. And then she says, no, that's BS. They're all humans like us. They're variants. And so that's the big reveal of this episode, guys. The TVA were lied to believe that they were created by the timekeepers and that they're just variants like Loki and Sylvie. They're all humans. So the timekeepers seem to be that shady organization. Like, I don't think the TVA fully lied. They must have been fully manipulated to believe so. So those timekeepers, they're up to some stuff right there. So that brings in a lot of interesting conversation to have in these next 3 episodes overall. So Loki and Sylvie, they're trying to escape the planet. And so they go to this village and they're trying to get to the Ark and escape. But the planet is just collapsing overall. They're trying to get to it. They go around fighting different people. But then the Ark pretty much gets destroyed. And so all hope pretty much is lost at that point. So they're just left for awe, like what to do next. And that's where the episode pretty much ends off. And I was a little disappointed, kind of, with that ending. Like, it just ends abruptly. I think in the next episode, we'll get a better overall opening and a better understanding with what just happened at the end. But everything just kind of ended at that point. And this is the shortest episode at 40 minutes. But yeah, it's definitely my least favorite episode. But overall thoughts, guys, yeah, this is definitely my least favorite episode so far. But it is a solid episode. The first 2 were amazing. Like the pilot episode introduced this world, the TVA, what they're all about. And I just love the mystery. And there was just a few things missing. The first one is Owen Wilson. Mobius was not in this episode. And he kind of added that nice entertainment value. No missed minutes, no TVA, no, Ravonna was only in 1 scene, but there was just no, gravitas and entertainment. It's just Loki and Sylvie solving this little mission. But it's not a bad episode overall. It is solid, just my least favorite episode. But guys, that was my breakdown review for episode 3 of Loki. Again, if you guys are watching this later, let me know your full thoughts on this episode. Let's discuss it in the comments section below. Joseph, love how it's time travel, kind of like Doctor Who. Yeah, this show is definitely given me some Doctor Who vibes with the time travel and what they could do potentially in these last few episodes. So that's going to do it, guys. Look forward to my episode 4 review next week. Hopefully it's better. I'm still into the show, guys. It's still really good. But guys, thank you so much for watching. My F9 review will be up some point tonight. I did see Fast and Furious 9 last night, so look forward to that review and my Fast and Furious ranking after that to follow. Guys, you seriously are all the best. Thank you so much for watching. All my social media links are in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.